Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series.
Because creators are businesses.
What we do is not simple.
Give, the fans everything that they deserve.
Being creative
is like doing a 5,000 piece puzzle.
Is something that you can learn and do over and over again.
Always be as authentic as I can be.
Hi, everybody. Hey. Hi. Thank you for being here. We so appreciate it. I am so excited. If I have not said hello to you, my name is Danielle Clardy. I am the host of the conversation series. This is what we're here for. Thank you very much. I am so very excited. I am a born and raised North Carolinian. I've been here my entire life, born right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I am thrilled that we are able to come together, this community, and do something fun like this and bring together 4 incredible women who are also North Carolina content creators and do some really awesome stuff around here. So I am very excited. I want to massive thank you. Where's Carolyn? There she is in the back. Owner of BoFem. She has allowed us to graciously come in here and take over this space for the night, so I can't thank her enough for allowing us to come in here. I want to thank Glow House Spa. My sister right here is the owner of Glow House Spa. Incredible esthetician. She is here. She's one of our sponsors. And then, of course, we've got Andia. Andia, where's Andia? She's here. Andia's Ice Cream. We've got Andia's Ice Cream here. And that's going to be rolled out here soon as well. And then we've got cupcakes from the Cupcake Shop Bakery. So these 4 incredible sponsors have been helping us. So I so appreciate everybody. And then time to introduce these incredible ladies who have been gracious enough to go along with this crazy idea of mine. So I'm going to rip down the line here real quick. We've got Miss Kelly Cain, the Raleigh local, here with us. Very excited. I love Kelly's content because she kind of just takes you around a full tour of Raleigh, which is amazing being a North Carolinian and a Raleigh native myself. So I love getting to see where she takes us. And then you've got Miss Kaylee Martz here with me. I pretty much, if I've introduced or been in a conversation with Kaylee, I've said this. Kaylee is an incredible fitness and wellness influencer here in North Carolina. She's also my trainer. She kicks my ass. And I enjoy it and I go back every single week. But she is here and she is an inspiration to me. She is fantastic with her groups and I so appreciate her being here. And then we've got Miss Meghan Grant. She is, I am fixing to, she is the Southern style of North Carolina. She's bringing it all to you guys, and I'm so excited that she's here. And then Miss Camellia Jade. She is, we were talking about this, Camellia is an incredible inspiration to me as someone who has struggled with my body and my life. She shows it all, literally. She has done talks in her underwear and bra, and she is not afraid. And so she's an inspiration, and I so appreciate these 4 incredible ladies being here with me today. And we're going to go through some questions. I'm going to ask these ladies some things, but in the back of the room where Carolyn is on that table are some notepads. If you have a question you'd like to ask, please go write it down, and there's some bowls back there. We'd love to do some Q&A at the end. But yeah, so we're going to get into some questions and things and have some fun and get to know these ladies some more. I would love to first tap into this panel's perspective on brand partnerships. Being a content creator, some of the biggest things, working with locals, working with local businesses. How do you guys approach brand partnerships and dealing with businesses? Kelly, I'll start with you.
Oh, okay.
So number one, I want to work with brands that align with things that I love. So one of the things about my content is that I want to be authentic, and I'm not just going to have a partnership because they're paying me money. Like at the end of the day, that's not meaningful to me. So if it aligns with my beliefs and things that I value, then that's the brand partnerships I seek.
Definitely agree with that. Definitely wants to align with your brand and the kind of message you're trying to put out there to the people who follow you. I would also say that just make it fun. So the brands that you are working with, try to catch it in a way that people are going to want to engage with it and want to, whether it's a place that you're going, want to go and seek that adventure, or a dining restaurant, make the food look yummy. So I would say definitely approaching it that way.
Awesome.
I am going to take this in a little bit of a different direction because I do focus a lot on North Carolina travel. And the first travel experience that I went on, I had pitched 100 places before I got my first partnership. And it was that catch-22 that you experience when you are applying for a job, maybe in a new industry, where they say, we went with somebody that has more experience. And you're like, got it, but also, how do I get that experience if somebody doesn't take that chance on me? And what I decided to do in some of my, later pitches was give a very detailed outline of what I was going to provide them. And that included very specific details. This is how many social media posts on what platforms you're going to get from me. This is what the word count of my blog article is going to look like. This is how I'm going to circulate it out to my readers. And somebody took a chance on me. And I decided at that point that I was going to promise, but always over-deliver. And the over-delivery looks different, and it's not always instant. It could be 6 months from now and recirculating something. It could be pitching it to a newspaper or a magazine. So I think that that is something that has just sort of driven the way that I approach partnerships, is making sure that it's a very clear deliverable of what I'm going to provide and then following through on that so that it is aligned with what my brand represents.
Mila?
Well, for me, it's a little interesting. I actually am very fortunate that I have built my entire platform really working with one brand, which is Style Finder. So my experience is a little bit different. I actually didn't plan on being a content creator. I was working with Style Finder Boutique just to try to boost their social media, and I kind of fell into the styling aspect, and I found what worked, and from there I kind of turned into a creator. So my experience is a little bit different, but I'm super fortunate that I've been able to build my brand through working with a local boutique.
Love it. That's great. Love it. I want to kick it over to Meghan first. And Meghan, your platform, I'm Fixin' To, blends travel. You've got some home on there. You've got, and then of course the Southern style that we talked about. You blend it so seamlessly together. What would you say to someone who is looking to start out in content creation and trying to find their niche? Do you believe in niches?
I do believe in a niche.
Okay.
I do. I think branding matters. When I first started out, I had a blog called Champaign and Suburbs, and it was very trendy to have like this and this as a blog title, and I really outgrew that pretty quickly. And so when I decided to rebranding's hard because you have to try to pull over, your same readers. You have to try to get your SEO back up. So I knew I wanted it to be something that I wasn't going to get tired of. And so I have my blog is called I'm Fixin' To, but I have a tagline that is do, see, wear. And those are the pillars that I sort of drive from. And that is where I think my niche is. I also think that a consideration is not necessarily a niche, but it's where do you find joy in creating content. I do not love Instagram. I do not love Facebook. I use them as a supplement, but that is not where I'm spending a lot of my energy. I write for my website, and then I have a supplemental newsletter, and that is where I drive a lot of my traffic from. And if you are, looking to get into content creation and you want to have a YouTube channel where you're vlogging, like that is where I would start and then think about how your brand builds into that. If you are more interested in doing a podcast, then what would that look like for you? And so for me, just knowing my brand was going to be more focused on writing, that's where I took it. And I just think that that's probably an important consideration, especially with how many different social media platforms there are these days, to consider where you would want to spend a lot of your creative energy.
Yeah, and I think the beauty in being a content creator, like you were talking about, you can pick where you want to be. You
Exactly.
can pick if you want to be on Instagram, on Facebook. You can put out whatever content you want to put out on those channels as well. Whether that starts with fitness page, whether that starts with something else, whether it starts with podcasts. But one thing that you kind of need for it is to be passionate about your audience and you listening to what your audience says. And so, Camila, I want to go to you. because you are super passionate about just your audience and really listening to them and working with them. And I want to talk about your series, Your Body Is Not the Problem, Your Clothes Are, because I think that inspired and resonated with so many people. What inspired that message and you sharing that message in the first place?
Other content creators. You know, a lot of people think I am very confident because of what I do and the numbers that they see on my Instagram. Surprise, those who can't do teach, those who don't have confidence try to give it to other people. So I didn't really have a lot of confidence in myself, and I always struggled with my own body image, as I think all women do throughout their entire life. And I saw other content creators that were getting dressed, but they were showing their bodies online in their underwear. And I was able to see what other bodies looked like, and it made me feel more comfortable with mine. Even though their body looked different than mine, I felt more comfortable. And I saw their confidence, and I thought, well, I can be confident too. So I just kind of started doing the same thing, but in my own way. I knew I had this large audience, and so I thought I had an opportunity to share a different perspective, because we all look different with our clothes on versus what we look like with our clothes off. And I think it was surprising for a lot of people to see me in my underwear and see what my body really looks like, to see my jiggly thighs and my bloated belly, and to find out what my measurements were, what size I wore. A lot of people didn't know. So I just wanted to bring some transparency. That's a word that was used to describe me recently, and I really liked that. It's a scary thing to do, but the best thing that has come out of that is through my vulnerability and sharing my body online, I've been able to build so many amazing connections. And I'm not a scary person to talk to. I'm really tall, and that can be intimidating, right? People are like, whoa, she is tall. But if you've already seen me in my underwear, how scary can I be? So, yeah.
I love that, and I want to go to Kelly. On the note of exploring passions and utilizing social media here, I want to get into how you spread the word. You built the Raleigh Local into a go-to guide for discovering the best of the city. What originally sparked your passion for showing off the city and the Raleigh gems around here?
So the year was 2020, and we all remember those times. But I really, during that time, I was going to different places, and I was getting my food to go, and kind of that situation. We kind of can think back to what that was like, and there were just not a lot of people out, and these places were struggling, and I thought, what can I do to help? And I've always loved taking pictures of food, and it's just a thing. And I was like, no one cares. Like, no one in my world cares. So I'm just gonna start a new page, right? And just start posting some stuff just for fun. And then I kind of picked up some steam, and I realized like, wow, I can actually help maybe here, help get the word out about these places that people aren't going to, help people see they're still here and they need customers, right? So that was the initial reason behind all of it.
I love it. And 2020, does anybody actually remember 2020 or anything like 2021, 2022? Anybody actually remember it? No? I swear I've had more conversations lately with people who were like, that was 4 years ago, and I was like, yeah, time has sure flown.
Actually, 2020 was a great year for me. That's when I started at Style Finder.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good job.
It's memorable for it. See, people do have memories that came out in 2020. My sister and I were in a house together. She was in esthetician school. I was working from home. My dad was working from home. We had a husky having zoomies around the house. Like, it was it was an entertaining household that we had. I want to get to Kaylee, staying on the theme of inspiration. You use your platform not as a typical fitness, here are all my people, here's the typical workout stuff to do. You use it as a place of showing off your people, the people who are coming to train with you. You do it in a fun way that makes it so it's not so stuffy, and it's fun. It's fun for fitness, and it's fun to be there. How do you stay motivated in this fitness wellness space and avoid burnout while also maintaining the things that you're trying to convey?
Yeah, so like I said before, if you're trying to motivate somebody, you want to make it fun. You want people to enjoy what they're seeing. And when I have people come to me and work out, I want to make it fun for them, or as fun as I can. So I kind of go into the sense of intentionality. When I first started creating content and even coaching, and then just all the other roles I take on, I had this really hard mindset of perfectionism. And that's something that I don't think people talk about a lot. Like when getting into content creation, people put on face on Instagram and TikTok and make everything look really nice and pretty, but fitness isn't always like that, and content creation, reaching out to brands, you mentioned it, you get turned down a lot. So for me, my motivation had to pull away from what things looked like and more to what they felt like. So instead of really seeking the perfectionism, I started seeking intentionality with my connections, my time, where I put my energy. And for me, that was fueling other people. So fueling people through classes and coaching, and then the content that I put out. Is this something that's going to bring other people joy? Is this positive? Is this a positive experience? Things like that. So that's what helps drive my motivation and keep me going.
I love it. And, there are so many people who are on social media today. I'm a social media manager. I have my own company. I do social media for other people. There are so many, I could doom scroll on TikTok all day long and just be the happiest person in the world on the weekend. There are so many users out there taking in content, but people really don't understand the work that it takes to put something together, to put together a reel, to put together a TikTok or whatever it may be, to come up with a concept. There's a lot of things you have to film it, you have to edit it, you have your filters on and all these things. So Kaylee, I want to stick with you real quick and just, you encourage finding joy in a healthy lifestyle, and like we've been talking about, motivating people in the right way. What are some small everyday habits that an up-and-coming content creator could incorporate into their own content that isn't, backbreaking?
Right. So anytime someone comes to me and they want to make a lifestyle change, becoming a content creator can be that change, right? So I always tell people, let's sit down and let's look at what you're already doing throughout your day. From the morning you wake up, afternoon at lunch, dinner, let's write it out. What are you doing right now? And then through those habits, everything comes back down to habits. The person you are habits. The person you want to be are habits. Where you want to go, that's habits. So we look at your habits you're already doing, and we think about, okay, how can we manipulate these to get you where you want to be? If that's content creation, you're already eating breakfast in the morning, take a picture of it. Or if it's a niche, if you're already going to cool places in Raleigh and you want that to be your niche, pull your phone out and take pictures, videos, put a cute dress on, look at her. So what you're already doing, just manipulate it to be where you want to go, or do with it what you want to do with it.
Yeah. I want to hit Camellia real quick, because one thing that I've loved that you created, the Self-Love Slumber Party. An incredible thing, turning your online presence into a physical in-person event. We're here today together, but you turn it into something completely different. With balancing the day-to-day challenges of content creation, how did you transition into bringing this message to life?
Very chaotically. Well, first, I think it's really important for me to talk about why I hosted the Self-Love Slumber Party. This was an idea that came to me one day on a walk, because I feel as though I am privileged to a certain degree. because I do show myself on camera in my underwear, so I can see what my body looks like. And what I have learned since doing that is I have really bad body dysmorphia. And I did not know that before, because all I would see is the way that I look in the mirror. And I even did a recent exercise 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I had to imagine myself in my underwear. And even in that moment, after I've been doing this for months, what I saw in my mind was not my true body. Thank goodness I had just done a speaking engagement the week prior and filmed it, so I was able to call back on that. But I realized there's this disconnect. And if it's happening for me, it's probably happening for all of us, but no one knows, because most of us are only seeing ourselves in the mirror, right? How many people here film themselves in their underwear? Okay, yeah.
Not a normal
So I consider myself lucky in that way, that I have this hard evidence to say, no, Camellia, that is not what your body looks like. And one day I thought, how can I help other women have that same experience that I'm having, to help them feel more satisfied in their bodies, to feel happy, to feel confident. And probably through a self-serving purpose as well, I like to dance. So I wanted to have a lingerie dance party. I had no idea what it was going to look like, but on my walk, I imagined girls in their underwear, drinks, dark room, DJ, and the best part, a boudoir photographer. Because I wanted women to not only feel comfortable and have a positive experience with the nakedness of their bodies to their own comfort level. Some women were in lingerie, some women were in pajamas, some people came not prepared, so they ended up with their shirts off at the end of the night, which was my favorite. But the boudoir photographer was there to help women gain confidence, right? And to pose them and to help them feel more powerful in their body. So it was just an idea at first. How can I take what I am doing and what I am sharing online and transfer that into an in-person experience? I was very fortunate to have a good friend of mine who has a lot of experience planning events, and she helped me. And luckily, I had just attended the Thriving Women's Conference, and I met so many amazing women who came in and they helped me with the photo shoot, with promoting the event, and decor, and I was, first of all, so surprised at how many people were into this idea. I thought it was going to be really hard for me to convince everyone to dance around in their underwear. It's surprisingly easy, y'all, okay? I couldn't even get the words out before everyone was like, tell me when. I'm ready. I'm in. And it was the most incredible experience for me to stand there and look around the room and just, I have chills right now every time I think about it, to see all these women having fun from all these different backgrounds. Some were drinking alcohol, some were not, some were in their lingerie, some were fully clothed, and we had everything in between, and everyone was just having a good time. And so that was the most amazing experience, and I cannot wait to do it again. And I'll leave it at that.
I want to throw it to Meghan real quick. And while we're on the topic of bringing a message to life, Meghan, you, through your blog and your newsletter, I want to hit on, you share both personal reflections as well as recommendations, and just want to hear how you balance the storytelling with providing value, actual content for your audience.
Sure. I sort of divided up into two sections. So my newsletter is hosted through Substack, and that is its own website, and that's a newer platform for me to use. And so it lives there forever. So you can go to my Substack, see all my previous newsletters and that sort of thing, which I really like. And that is more of like a, hey y'all, let's talk about what happened this week. I got laid off. Like, let's talk about how that makes you feel, kind of thing. And that's a lot more personal in that sort of space. And there's a section of Substack where you can DM. So I get lots of messages that way from people who are following my newsletter. I use my website for, I call it evergreen content. So that is information that's going to live there that doesn't change that quickly. So that's where you're going to see a lot more of my recommendations about what to do around the state. I can update that as businesses open or unfortunately sometimes close. And that is where like Google SEO really comes into an effect. And I just know that like personal content doesn't do great on my site. So that is when I really started to shift to Substack and having those personal reflections there. I think it's also really important when I'm thinking about the recommendations that I provide. I will not give a business a bad review. I frankly think that so much goes into an experience. I could go and have the best time, and I could give a rave review about it, and somebody else could go and they could have a terrible time. Maybe it's not their interest. Maybe they are a picky eater. Maybe they, found a server having a bad day, and that made their experience hard. They could be short-staffed. There's just so much that goes into that. And I won't give a bad recommendation. At this point in what I do with my site, I don't really want people to know that I'm there to write an article, because I want the experience that I get to be the same as somebody there grabbing a martini, getting some fries, and reading their book by themselves. Like, it should be able to be recommended that way. But I won't tank a business with a bad review. I don't think that is valuable. I just won't say anything at all. And if it is some sort of partnership and I am going to give a recommendation about it and it wasn't up to the standard that I've set for how I review things, I'll let them know. Like, this wasn't great. If it is a situation where they can have me back and I can have kind of a redo in case it was just an off time, I will do that. But I've never had a situation, and it's happened so few in the entire time that I've been doing this, that this has even been an issue. But I just have said, like, it wasn't great. I don't think that I should write about this or share it, and we're all fine. And it's just having an open conversation about it as well. And I do take my recommendations really seriously. Like, I don't want to recommend something that I don't believe in, and that's how I have balanced it.
Love it. I appreciate that too, because you don't want anything fake. You don't want a fake experience. You want it to be a true, authentic experience, because not only does it set a stage for your audience, like if someone goes and they have a bad experience, they're like, well, Meghan set the stage for this. You never want that to happen. I do want to toss to Kelly real quick. And in this world of social media, people are always really looking for community. There's been, in the last few years, community's been, I feel like sometimes a buzzword where people use it in some wrong context. But this panel right here has truly done an amazing job of creating community in every single sector that they have been in. But Kelly, your platform not only focuses on building community, but also supporting small businesses. What made you want to shed more light on not only Raleigh, St. James, but on small businesses throughout the city?
So just as a small business owner myself, I know just the heart and soul and blood, sweat, tears, quite literally, that goes into building and maintaining a small business. And then not only that, but then what's behind that, right? Like a lot of these people who are small business owners, they started their business because their thing is donuts. I don't know off the top, right? But that's their thing. They have no idea how to get their message out, like none. Clueless. They don't know how to build an audience. They don't know like what a reel is, like what's a carousel, right? So they have a valuable product that people need to know about, but no way to get that in front of the right audience. And so for me, I saw that disconnect and realized pretty quickly that I could help bridge that gap. I have a background in marketing, and I thought, gosh, like if I could just help get these people seen and heard, then how much could that do to build our local economy, right? We already know like how hard, it's so easy to shop on Amazon, y'all, but like supporting local businesses goes so far, right? You're helping them pay for preschool, right? You're helping them pay for their kids' soccer or whatever it is. Like it's so meaningful to me and it matters. And so that's why I keep doing it.
Love it. You guys, that's all the questions I have for this panel. Who has a question? Does anybody have a question they want to throw out? Have them answer?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So my question is, I know you said that wherever you go, take your phone out, take a picture. I have a million food pictures in my phone. It's the final execution that I'm struggling with. Like I have a draft right now on TikTok recapping my Aruba trip, and I've been to Aruba in March.
Girl, I know that feeling. Like you do something and it just sits there. Post it. Just do it. Like I got so stuck with overthinking everything because I wanted it to be perfect and I wanted people to relate. Like if you love it, post it. Someone else is going to love it, you know? And if they don't, then try something else, but they're going to love it. And then with all the food pictures, you can create folders, find what works for you. We can talk a little bit too, but it really comes down to what's going to help you stay organized and time, right? So if you set time apart once a week where you're looking at what you did the last week and you filter through that and you're like, okay, this picture's bomb, I'm going to post this one, rather than just getting it week after week after week piling up, kind of just stay on top of it like a little bit like that. That's how I like to do it.
And to piggyback off that question,
Yeah.
Do like your edits on your phone or on the computer? So
I do.
I have my phone. When I get home, I'm like, I want to see it.
I do use my phone for most of my editing. What do y'all do?
I use both.
I use both.
I use my phone. Just easy. I was gonna piggyback a little bit. So one hot tip, if you have an iPhone and you have live photos, those can be made into videos. So if you just leave it on live photos, then you can also like use those photos for reels or purpose them into photos so that later when you're ready. But I totally agree on just post the thing.
Yeah, this is, I'll put my social media hat on here. I've been in social media for 10 years now. I've worked with a variety of different clients. I've worked in-house and out-of-house. Do not let perfect be the enemy of the good is what we say a lot of the time. I've worked in corporate where it has to be branded. It has to be perfect. The lines have to be a certain way. Don't let that stop you. Like, put it out there because like Kaylee was saying, somebody else is going to love that. There are a whole group of people. And I actually saw something the other day. It was somebody who said 50 people who view your reel or TikTok. That fills a movie theater. 250 people that see your thing. And it was just this analogy that kept going into all these different venues that fit 250 people, 500 people. Like those venues keep getting bigger. And when you put it in that purpose, you're like, holy crap, I'm filling up a whole movie theater. I'm filling up a whole place. Like, that's incredible.
And that's something we're almost numb to,
Yeah.
because we see it so much on Instagram, on TikTok, like all these views, but those are actual people.
Yeah.
So like you said, if you inspire 50 people to go to Aruba, yes, like let's go have a good time. I want to go. So yeah, don't let the numbers numb you. Just post it. Someone will love it.
Yeah. Amen. Go ahead, Marcy.
Oh, I was going to say, what is, as content creators, what is something that you see or think that people think is true that is not? Or what is like something that you can pull back the curtain on as content creators?
Well, I would like to say something. Speaking about being numb to the numbers, I have a rather large following on Instagram. I was very fortunate to have a few videos go viral. First thing, going viral, be prepared. I heard that before and I was like, what? No, that would be my dream to go viral. Yes, but everyone loves to hate on your videos. That is truly why they go viral. No video goes viral because it has amazing good comments, okay? So, But you have to remember those numbers are just numbers. They grow and they fall and people find you and people leave you. But yeah, you cannot get too caught up on the numbers. And you have to remember your purpose and why you're doing it and why you're sharing your content. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm having a really hard time, because I do have a lot of really bad days, is I will go back and read the comments on my videos, and just those are the most amazing reminders of why I'm here and why I'm doing this. When someone says, hey, you made me think differently about my body, or I didn't know that before, whatever it is, I wanted to visit this place, or that's a cool workout, whatever it is, that is just the little nugget that I need to keep pushing and keep going forward. Because I'll be honest, there are days that I want to shut it all down. It gets to you sometimes. So that's the one thing I would say, to be prepared for. But I think that's the biggest thing. People see a number and they think, oh my gosh, they've made it. Yeah. No, girl. I am trying just as hard as the next person.
I know, that's right. I've posted a TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I post it more now just to post fun videos of things. I've posted a video and I've woken up and I'm like, why in the world is this video going viral right now? And so I've been lucky enough where I've got, this community, this podcast community, all these incredible guests that I get to have on. But I'm also, Jess is here. Jess is all the way back. I'm also a massive Carolina Hurricanes fan. So I get to take people along to games with me, and I wake up and I've got like Capitals fans in my comments who are like, you guys suck. And I'm like, not anymore, we don't. Have fun with that. But it is fun. You get those videos once in a while. But what I love about that, and you going back and reading comments, I love it because people start sharing their stories, and then it opens more doors, and people then start going on those threads and talking to those people, and I love that because you just see the chain effect keep happening.
And I use those comments as inspiration for future videos and future topics for me to talk on. So use those comments as inspiration, because what they are saying to you is what they love about your content. So give them more of that.
I would say a lot of people had said that blogging was dead and that, Instagram and TikTok were the way to go. And I don't find that to be true. I think that there's still a big need for long form content. I write travel guides a lot, and my SEO on those is really good because by the time somebody's coming to my website, they have decided that they want to go to Aruba. And they're there because they're looking for recommendations for what they're going to do while they're there. And it's not dead in that kind of capacity. I would say sharing personal content like a diary, like I used to do back in 2013, that's probably dead. That's what we're doing on Substack. But, in terms of having a tangible recommendation on a website is not dead. And that is where I derive so much creative joy. And seeing that makes me be like, all right, well, you're missing out on a really good opportunity. So I would say if you are into writing, you should check out a website or a Substack. I'm looking at you specifically. I don't know why.
So my question was, I do feel like content creation is the most intimate form of being like a small business owner, because it is your life, at least when it's a brick and mortar type of business. You come in and you go, but people are always kind of in your lives however much you let them. Do you guys struggle with imposter syndrome at all? And if you do, how do you kind of work that out while also still being able to make content?
Imposter syndrome is real, yes. But I heard a quote recently, and I love to remind myself of this. They said, if you have imposter syndrome, then you care. If you don't have imposter syndrome, then you should be worried because you don't care enough. But I guess, can you give me some clarification on your question? Like, what do you mean, with the brick and mortar, you go home, but yeah, content creation is 24/7. So yeah, people feel like they are a part of our lives.
Right. So like for me, if I don't feel like I had a good day at work, at least I leave it at work and I'm able to go home and I don't look at comments. I don't look at reviews. It's nothing like that. Like people aren't in my life and I'm able to separate the two. If you're feeling like that, if you feel like, you know, today was a bad day content-wise, I didn't get out what I needed to, stuff like that, like, how do you reconcile that for yourself?
I share it. I get on my stories. I've built a community that when I have, can I cuss? When I have a shitty day, I get on there and I talk about it.
I love when people ask me that, and I'm like, please, I don't care.
Yeah. Some of the ladies in here follow me, and I use that. I use that as an opportunity to shed light on the fact that Instagram is not real life.
Yeah.
That, again, going back to me being on camera in my underwear, because that is real. What I'm wearing and how I'm covering myself is not what I really look like. Underneath, that's what I really look like. So if I had a shitty day, I talk about it. I was having a mental breakdown, and I went on my stories and I talked about it. And when you build a community, the best part is those people reach out to you and they give you the comfort that you need. Or that you're seeking. Sometimes I'm not seeking it, so I just give them a little heart and I'm like, thanks, I don't really care. But it's amazing. And I think that's also something that's so special, because when you share it, it actually builds more of a connection. And that's what I talk about all the time. You want to be vulnerable. You want to be transparent, because everything is so curated these days. People are craving real. And when I share my bad days, without a doubt, someone always sends me a message and says, thank you for sharing that. I also am having a shitty day, or this is happening, or now I don't feel so alone in my own personal struggles. So even when you're having a bad day, you still can build community and you still can build connection. So I say, let them know.
I have a boundary of that kind of stuff. Like, there's certain things that I'm willing to share. There's certain things that I'm not. And I just kind of know what I'm willing to accept feedback on and what I'm not going to accept feedback on. I usually, if I'm shopping for feedback in my personal life, I ask 5 people, because then it's an odd number. Somebody's going to break where I'm at on it, you know? But I also am, like, in content creation specifically, if somebody has an opinion about it, first of all, I try to decide if I care or not. Like, does this matter? I usually text Hannah, who's in the red dress, and be like, look at this comment this fool sent me. Like I care. Okay. Or if I've had a situation that maybe is awkward with a business, I have some friends that I can be like, what would you do in this situation? Like, Shanna is one of those people that I've often reached out to. And so it speaks to what you're talking about, though. I've built a community where I can seek that feedback and decide who I want to let in on if it is worth my time or not.
So I think that's great. You have 2 different ways that you can go about it. You can either take Megan's approach, and you can have those boundaries, and you can have more of like that work-life balance, or you can take the route I have, where I kind of share everything. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what feels right to you. And I think that's one of the great things about being a content creator and having your own brand is you're in control of it.
Yeah. And I think that's too, like, the difference between also like a personal brand and then, like, if you're owning and operating a storefront, you may not want to get on there and be like, I had a shitty day. Yeah. My customers are so difficult.
As one of them is standing right behind her, that's one of her customers.
But I do think I have a separate account for that. So I have a personal account, and then my account, the Raleigh Local, that's the account. I'm there to highlight businesses, like other businesses, and to shine a spotlight on other people, not on me. So I think it does depend on your brand as well.
I think that's true. I agree. I have a friend, and she has a professional business. She has a hair salon, and she has the Instagram for the salon and her personal. And you can always use that little friends button, right? So you don't have to share your stories to everyone. You can share them just to your close friends.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
So as a small business owner and you're just starting out, what advice would you give when reaching out to local content creators?
I would say look for those that are going to align with your brand, because you want, like, they're almost going to be a representation of your business. And you want to work with someone who views it that way. Like, it's not just about us, right? We're doing this for you. So how do you want this to look like, what do you want to get out of this? Those are questions that they should be asking, and put your business first in that.
Hi. I came all the way from Charlotte. I was determined.
Wow! Welcome.
That's amazing.
Snaps for you.
That's amazing.
My question is pertaining to how do you take, so I'm already a content creator and I do really good, but turning that into a business has been the hard part.
Yeah.
How do you transition from just being a content creator to make it a lucrative business? That's something that I'm struggling with.
I can talk about this because I've also recently made the transition. So I started my account in 2020, as I mentioned. It wasn't until last year that I started charging. So I didn't know that I could. I'm gonna be real. Like somebody came to me and they were like, "I think you like should start charging for
making
your
some
content."
money.
I was like, "Oh, okay." So, but just as people were reaching out to me, it was a matter of me figuring it out, right? Like, first of all, working with national brands, working with local brands, this is two totally different price points. There's not a lot out there. There's not an industry standard for local brands, so it's difficult. I'm going to say that, but we can talk. So one of the things that I did was I had to get super clear on what I was willing to offer, right? I built my media kit. I went on Beacons. I don't know if you've seen this, but it auto updates. So I love that with your follower count, with your stats, your demographics, all of that good stuff. And I got super clear on my offers. And I think that's like the number one thing. So when people started reaching out to me, I had something to say, like I had something to send them, but also I really wanted to get them on a call, get them on a Zoom or something, so that we could talk through what are you really looking for? What are you really looking to accomplish? Which is what you were talking about. And then saying and stating clearly and with confidence, right? This is what I offer and this is how much I charge. And I'm going to tell you, like I wanted to throw up the first time I did that, but it is necessary because unless you're communicating that confidence in what you have and the audience you've built, like that is valuable, right? So I would say make sure to communicate that and just be super clear on those things. So use ChatGPT to help you because I do that every single day. And that can kind of help you sometimes get clear on the things that might seem muddy and just outline that.
Can I tell you, every time I send a rate sheet to somebody, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Because I really do, because I feel like I'm asking too much. But I've realized that I've gone and done research for my services, and I've gone into ChatGPT and I said, here is what I am being asked to accomplish. Is what I'm charging on the low scale of things, or is it on the higher end? And every time it'll come back to me and say I'm on the lower side of the scale. And so I've realized I'm like, okay, I can ask for more money because I am spending a considerable amount of time every single week to do things that, you know, that they could be doing as well, but they've hired me for a particular reason. So, but I do feel sick every time I send a rate sheet. I'm like, oh my God.
I think that's normal.
Yeah.
I would also say, she was talking about brands approaching her. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to brands. You can do that in multiple ways. Email, yes. Sending your media kit, yes. But if you're looking for local places, go and talk to them in person. Introduce yourself. People follow you. They see your face every day. You know, they love you. Go make those connections, meet the owners, go get a facial from the, like, you know, participate and know so you can really talk to their services and be like, I really love this product. I saw on Threads where people just unleash everything with no filter. There was someone who said, I had a creator reach out to me via email today saying how much they loved X product, but they don't even follow me. So it's like, how are you going to request this big brand partnership, you know, say you love it, but you don't even follow along. So just building the small connections and building off from there, I think is a good way to get your foot in the door too.
I think there's also something to consider in what you're willing to do as an in-kind partnership that might get you to a bigger paid partnership. So thinking about like what a now kind of partnership would look like, and then how can you build on that, knowing that you might need to have a portfolio that you can reference back to on, this is what I did that was a paid partnership, this is what I delivered, this is what my stats were, so that you can start to, you know, build that out as well. And it doesn't have to be anything super fancy or formal. You could just do a one pager of it.
It also depends on what you're already doing.
That's
Yeah. So we don't know what you're doing, so we can talk.
Yeah. You guys, I'm going to end us right here because I do want to allow you guys, if you want to come and ask these four incredible ladies any questions and get to know them, follow them, have anything that you want to ask, please come up and ask them. We've got Andia's ice cream. Andia's got some great little Andia's cups for us that she brought, so thank you. And as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.
Thank
Hi,
you.
y'all. Thank you.